those two links for his maximum advantage, checking around the third base, making sure that nothing's there to harass it before taking. And this is the kind of small things that separate a higher level player from lower level, is they will just constantly check, is there a pylon, is there a probe there, is something going to happen to me later on that I can prevent? It's about stopping
Yep.
these problems before they ever arise. And Daveathor, again, taking two cannons because he is playing in the dark. He doesn't know if there are any expansions down, so he has to be more careful than he normally would. And this second cannon probably will get to start on the rocks, much the same as we saw in that very first Ohana game.
Yep, that is exactly the case. The rooks will go down eventually. Meanwhile, we do have the third base being constructed by Hordeon, and still no gas being taken. Last game, if you notice, he took his double gas at his natural, which was really interesting to see. Sometimes players do this. When they expect their main base to be scouted, they build their gases and their tech structures elsewhere, so that it's more difficult to scout for their opponents. So just probe transfers going down for now, links checking for proxy pylons, and we also do have one link here at Daveathor's third, and he sees the pylon going down, he sees the Zealot, and now he also sees the probes, so he has to suspect that a third base is going down. Now, will he learn from his past mistakes, and will he go for the mass link again?
Thus
Or
far, he's
will
only
he
getting
start
two
meckering up?
Zerglings, and he's still making drones, just a few of them at a time. But the Zergling is going up, and he's probably just going to dance around the base, looking at everything, but it does get sniped by that Zealot very quickly. So Daveathor has his choice now to do his cheesy play, but he goes for the Nexus instead, and there is no scouting available for Hordeon, apart from seeing what's in his opponent's base, which cannot be indicative enough of the kind of play that his opponent is going for, because there's a lot of areas that that Overlord cannot see.
This Nexus will be harassed for a little bit, and I have to say that this was a little bit of a misstep by Dave. He should have built that wall first and then go for the Nexus. It would not delay that Nexus by a tremendous amount of time, but right now he has an open door and will, yes, this third gateway goes down in time, and these two cannons will take care of those links, no problem. But these links still inside the third do get cleaned up as well, so Daveathor is quite safe right now. Roach Warren is being constructed meanwhile, as well as the lair. Oh, excuse me, he is on 3 gas right now, so looks like Hordeon just only put mild pressure on Dave, and he's going for a beast macro mode right now.
Absolutely, with 11 drones popping out there, he's going to be on 55 drones. He's going to be able to take his 4th base very soon, and then just move on to a more secure style. He's got enough links to nibble away at his rocks and maintain map control, so we can see if any sort of aggression does come out. But Daveathor is just getting his Robo Bay now, and he's going to start getting his second forge shortly afterwards.
And we do have an infestation bit going down immediately after the lair finish, just now getting the link speed, so this alone tells us that Hordeon is definitely thinking in terms of longer play. Daveathor is getting a robo facility, an additional gateway that will put him to up to 5 gates, I do believe, if I'm not miscounting. And he's getting a second forge and a twilight. Now, with those 2 forges, what I actually like to do, when you want to get your +2 attack, you start it inside your main base, so that way, if some sort of roach link pressure comes and your forward forge ends up being sniped, you don't lose the attack upgrade, only the armor upgrade, and the attack upgrade is the more important, because in PvZ, if you are getting hit by the Zerg, you are doing it wrong.
Absolutely. And Daveathor is just going for the exact same style as the previous game. He's getting 4 sentries, but not the previous game, but the first game that they played. The 4 sentries, heavy stalker, the Robo Bay, no Colossus tech. But the changeling is inside of Daveathor's base. We will be able to see everything, and Hordeon is already on his way to a lair. He's going to have his hive tech coming out much earlier than before. And he's going to be able to easily fight off his opponent in a much more convincing fashion than previously.
Definitely, he's just rushing for that hive tech as fast as possible, because he knows his opponent by now should be saturated on 3 bases, and the clock is ticking. And this time around, he needs. I'm sure he will go for a high, very, very high infestor count and very many broodlords as soon as possible. And I believe he will go for the infestors first, and then he will go for the broodlords, because he still doesn't know what Daveathor exactly is doing. And the threat of a Colossus all-in from 3 bases is still very much possible.
Absolutely, and I still feel one of the critical points of Daveathor is that he doesn't get the Colossus. Some roach pressure coming in is going to be able to take down a single cannon and possibly ace. He does manage to get one sentry, not going to be able to get a second one. The force fields are quite strong at repelling this, and Hordeon lost a lot of supply worth of money there. A lot of money there compared to his opponent. So he's... Oh, and another sentry is going to go down. So that's very, very good for Hordeon right now. Just taking these small victories.
Yeah, and that sentry had 150 energy almost on her, so that's a huge loss for Dave, actually. The Lynx at 1-1. Infestor production rolling in. He's already has, look at this, a couple of his infestors just tucked in nicely in this corner. He is spining up his 4th base, connecting it with the creep, and Daveathor says, I had enough, I'm going to kill you, because I think he saw the... Yeah, he knows the Great Aspiria is up, he knows the Hive is up, he says, I have to push now.
He's taken out a few of the Stalkers, but he's going to need a lot more Zerglings if he's going to hold off this attack.
Definitely, he needs a lot more Zerglings. I would not put it past him if he started producing roaches as well. But there go the first Broodlords, 5 Broodlords in production right now. Dave is just holding the center. He needs Proxy Balance or War Prisms right now. But he still does not have any AoE. Here comes the battle.
The attack comes in. The force fields are just a little bit too late. And a lot of not many infested Terrans actually going down. I was expecting more to start pouring out. And this army is all starting to get whittled down, and the infestors are still alive, and there's very few Stalkers to be able to take on this Broodlord force, but they are relatively well upgraded with +2 attack against the Broodlords that don't have any attacks at all.
Yes, they don't, but the Broodlings do have +1/+1 attacks. They will have +2 attack and +2 armor in a moment, and I don't think Daveathor should have pushed out with that damaged army, with those damaged units, because those infestors still have enough energy. Right now they are running low, but Hordeon is reinforcing with more infestors, more Stalker warpins occurring here. +2/+1 is on them, +3/+2 will finish in about a minute's time, minute and a half. And I think Hordeon will push this back if Dave is not careful, and he loses these Stalkers. He might... Oh, thankfully he blinks them away, because he might find himself in a tough spot. He needs to preserve those Stalkers at all costs.
And Daveathor is only just now starting his Stargate, a lot later than he did in the first game, but the blink forward is very good, and he's just going to do a lot of damage to these Broodlords, but there's so many Zerglings that they're just going to be able to do a lot of damage and force the pullback. Still with only 1 Broodlord left though. And with no AoE, no Zealots, this attack is going to be very, very weak until Daveathor decides to make me sound wrong and walk into the Zealots.
There is 1 Broodlord left. Daveathor will clear that Broodlord up, but the rest of his are... Oh, he will not actually. The Stalker dies before he can manage to do so, and the rest of his army will die. Dave cannot take a 4th base because there is an Overlord pooping creep all over the place. His upgrades are about to finish on the forges, which will make his army even more powerful, but losing those Stalkers in that engagement was a huge blow to him. Granted, he is keeping the Broodlord numbers low, and if we look at the gas of the Zerg, it's almost at 0, and he is only at 3 Broodlords, but oh my god, does he have a lot of infestors.
The infestor count is going to be very critical here, holding off those Zealots, doing the damage that they are required to do. But the Stalkers are just doing a lot of damage for Daveathor. Every single engagement, he's getting them in, he's focus firing perfectly. And...
Well, the infestors in this composition the Zerg has right now, they serve as a means to keep those Broodlords alive. They prevent the blinkins underneath those Broodlords, or if you blink under them, you get immediately fungled. and your Stalkers just die very rapidly, and you need to get as much utility and usefulness out of those Stalkers as you can. More Broodlords being morphed in, as long as he keeps those Infestors alive, avoids the encounter for the next couple of minutes to have those Infestors on full energy, he should be pretty good. And what Dave should start doing right now is mass harassment.
The mothership of Daveathor will only start in a few seconds. His fleet beacon just finishing, and now his mothership core should start. His mothership, sorry, too much out of the swarm for me. But the attack is going down on the third base, and Daveathor actually is set up for a very good surround, and it's all going to come down to how fast Hordeon can react to this. Instantly pulling his lings back, getting good fungals.
Oh!
The storms kill all of the Zerglings. But there are
Nice
no Stalkers left.
storms! There are no Stalkers. He needs to pull back with this. Wait until those infested Terrans die. There's nothing to shoot the Broodlords with, and Hordeon just advances into the attempted fourth of Dave. He has some Stalkers there, but right now Hordeon will start abusing this crack in the space right here. When he positions those Broodlords up there, there's nothing you can do about it. There goes the cancel on that base, and
right now,
Daveathor
Hordeon should just pull back, get into a more defensive position, because he knows his opponent is on 3 base. He must be mined out of one of them, which he has just done, and there he's going to start mining out of his natural soon, so he can just sit in a comfortable position, but he's choosing the more aggressive path, knowing he can reinforce comfortably along this creeps highway that he's got along the right-hand side of the map.
And here we go, the last stand for Daveathor, because I do not think he has much left in him. He's even pulling a lot of probes to fight these Zerglings and infested Terrans. He's trying to snipe as many infestors, Broodlords as possible. Some of the infestors getting killed by the Zealots, but right now when all the Stalkers are gone, Hordeon just moves back. That's the very correct decision, the very best decision he could have made right now.
And right now, Daveathor is on a weakened economy. He's forced to take this expansion, and he's lost a lot of probes in that fight, whilst Hordeon sorry, has got so many bases up, he can just take 2 more bases, which he is going to proceed to do. He's taking another one.
And Hordeon still has 12 infestors out on the field. They are regathering their expended energy, and he had 13 more Broodlords just now that popped up. He is taking more bases. He needs the gas. Look how many minerals he's got, and not enough gas for reinforcing all of this. So he's taking more and more bases. Would not be surprised if this base got put down very, very soon. And he's just preventing, he's just containing Dave, containing him to his, well, soon to be 1 base economy, or maybe even 0 base economy, not letting him get this 4th base up and continue attacking, forcing him to waste units, lose units, and spend resources again and again.
And now, Hordeon has been sitting on 93 drones this entire time. He's gone pure into his macro, and he has to start putting down spine crawlers to stop any form of counterattacks. A lot of spine crawlers at every base, not just a few, a metric beep ton.
Oh my god, speaking of spine crawlers, I would say this spine crawler push is almost a BM move by Hordeon. He's saying, I have such control over this map that I do not need spines to defend. I'm going to use them to attack!
Absolutely. This aggressive position is going to keep Daveathor stuck on one base economy for a long time, because he is just about to mine out of his natural. But Daveathor is sneaking out a probe to try and get a sneaky 4th base, but it is in the place of a hatchery.
Yep. And Hordeon is maxed. He does have the correct composition, and I think he's going for the final push. There goes some preemptive storms, completely missing everything. Daveathor just pulling back, not willing to get into the range of those infested Terrans. He's just trying to bring those health bars down with a couple of storms. But those Templars, not very many storms remaining, maybe 4, maybe 5. But a little bit of... Look at all those storms missing. Oh my god, Daveathor misclicking himself to death, literally.
The High Templars have moved too far forward, and they can get picked off very quickly. And the infested Terrans just pulling back. The storm goes down on the infested Terrans, and it's not enough to take down any of them. But during that time, the Blink Forwarders came, and all of the Broodlords are just going to get ripped through, and this is going to be very dangerous for Hordeon unless he can